Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast, where your dream restaurant remains a dream. But hey, let's just talk about it. I'm your host Pradyum, and for today's episode, we've got a guest who likes her Korean drama, who likes photographing unsuspecting cats, but hates surprises. Fair to say?
That's a pretty fair assessment. I really like that.
All right.
Was it my husband
Perfect.
who gave you this info?
The last one, because I did ask him what is something that I could surprise you with, and he was like, she hates surprises. Do not. Because the first two
Yeah.
we've discussed
Okay.
about, so
Yeah,
I
that's
knew
fair.
about that. The third was something that your husband added, and it's Sreyashi Chatterjee, everybody! Yay!
Hello. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
All right, so we begin the podcast by generally, I think the guests that we've had on here, it was I either knew or it was my previous co-hosts who are currently bankrupt because we were funding a lot of weird dream
Amazing.
restaurants. Yeah, so it was somebody that we knew personally. How we met is a very, very interesting story.
Yes. Maybe you can go ahead and complete it. It's a continuation from your 13th episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I didn't actually know that I had referred to this in the podcast previously, but yes. So we met at your wedding.
Yes.
Where I was surprisingly pushed forward as your MC, right? During the Sangeet.
Yes.
And a job which
We're not going to call it a Sangeet. It was a cocktail dinner.
It was a cocktail dinner. There we go. Yeah. And it was something that obviously I was shivering the moment I was put forward for that. Like anyone who knows me is like, I don't like being out there in the public image per se. And the problem was like my jokes can be quite different. And so I was always scared as to how far could I push the envelope.
Fair.
So it was like I have to limit it, but maybe keep the audience engaged. And so that was like, oh shit, how do I do it? So obviously you need a little bit of liquid courage to start that off. But yes, that's how we met, because that was the first time I ever met you, and that was during your wedding. And I've never ever said that, and I don't think I'm ever going to say that to anybody else.
Makes a good story.
Yeah. All right. So, but since then we've chatted on Instagram. Yeah. We've gotten to know each other a bit more. But yeah, it was a very, very unique first introduction.
That's true.
And I do blame your husband slightly for that as well.
Oh, well, I think we can blame him for a lot of things.
Yeah. All right. So, Sreyashi, welcome to the podcast. And before we get to talking about your dream restaurant, the first thing I need to ask you is, what does food mean to you? Oh, wait, before that, why don't you introduce yourself first to people who don't know about you? Because we've basically just introduced ourselves. So, like, just introduce yourself, tell us a bit about what you do, where you are, and then, of course, get to what does food mean to you.
Okay. I feel like this is an interview question, right? Like, introduce yourself. So I don't know, I might have something very similar as an answer, but to keep things super informal, my name is Sreyashi, and I've lived in many places in India, but two of the largest places that I've had the most impact on my life are the first 8 years that I spent in Karnataka, so in Manipal, and then Calcutta, where I spent, the latter part of my teenage years and everything. The better part of my schooling was done in Calcutta, so of course I'm very heavily influenced by that. I come from a unique cultural background in the sense that my mom is Himachali and my father is a Bengali. So these are two wildly different cultures with wildly different codes of conduct and things that are acceptable or not.
Codes of conduct. Wow. I've never heard that being.
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, I'm just referring back to the fact that you said that you didn't know what kind of jokes would be accepted or not. So one half of my family would be pretty cool with a lot of stuff. The other half, not so much.
Yeah. So, I think I was less worried about the family side of things. I was more worried about the guest side of things because they often are
Yeah.
the more troublesome ones.
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
it's
people, but
okay. No,
it is a fact. If anyone's listening, it's
no
your
worries.
fault. But
So,
yeah,
so that is something that has greatly influenced my life. And I've worked in the big cities of India, so like Delhi, Mumbai. I was in Mumbai for my undergrad degree, and I also started working there. I used to work in hotels. So, yeah, that was something that was completely unexpected because my parents are doctors. So, that's not a path that you traditionally go down. And then I completely switched things when I came to Paris to do my master's in 2022. And I stayed back. I stayed back, and now I work in sustainability. So, again, completely different field, has nothing to do with anything that I did in my life before. But again, Paris has had a very big influence on my life so far. It's been slightly more than 2.5, 3-ish years now that I've been here.
really, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's including your masters as well.
This is including
Yeah,
my
yeah.
master's.
Fair,
So
fair,
since
fair.
22, and I've
Damn.
been working since the past year and a half. So that's me.
Okay. Nice.
Voila.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, normally I do ask guests, are they a foodie? But you wouldn't have come onto this podcast if you weren't. So
I don't
okay,
know.
okay, are you a foodie? But more importantly, what does food mean to you?
So food, I think it really depends on what I need at the moment. Sometimes food is sustenance. So, for example, I just need like the major groups, and like that's what I often do at home for myself. Now that my husband's not here, and I'm self-reliant, I try to make sure that I have, say, a carb, a protein, some vegetables, and that's it. It could be completely disjointed as a meal, but I don't care. It's things that I'm comfortable cooking in this extremely limited space that I inhabit.
Yeah.
Other times, food can be something that connects people. So, for example, when I meet with friends and you're often around, and it's always centered around food, it's a way for people to show their cultures, which is something that I experienced here in Paris. I have a lot of different friend groups from, say, different parts of the world, which you don't usually come across when you're in India.
Oh, social
So,
butterfly
yeah.
and all of that. Look at that.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
not
Got
not
different
like
friend
that.
groups.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
no, I'm
no,
just
not
kidding.
not. No, I'm not that social, but I do cherish the fact that a lot of my friends choose to show and showcase their culture through food, which I think is very interesting. And comfort, food is comfort. So when it's getting cold and darker earlier, as it does in Paris, you do turn to food. So it can
Yeah.
be many things at the same time, but it's what I need. As far as whether I'm a foodie or not, I think if there was a scale for I eat to live and I live to eat, I'm somewhere, say, slightly above average. I mean, I'm okay going to a good restaurant sometimes, but I'm not going to search for, say, 10 restaurants because none of them are rated 4.5 or above. If I'm hungry, I need to eat. So
Okay.
I'm quite flexible. So,
All right. I think
yeah,
I'm on the higher end of that scale.
I can imagine. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Yes, yes.
So,
That's fine. But yeah, I can't do street food as much as I used to. And
hmm
you can thank Delhi street food for that. And my eating habits back then, it
hmm
was all over the place. And yeah, I think now when I am going to go out and eat something, I better make sure that it's of a good quality,
yeah.
because then I'd rather cook at home. I mean, I'm okay making that sort of decision, saying that if there's nothing interesting enough to go out and eat, I'd rather just
Stay at
make
home. Yeah.
something interesting, yeah, at home.
Mm.
So all right, okay, that's interesting. Now let's
Yeah.
start with your dream restaurant, because I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Okay.
Now we'll start with the cuisine. So what is your dream cuisine?
Okay. So, my dream cuisine, I like many guests on your podcast would have said that it's very hard to choose just one cuisine. But my restaurant, the way I envisioned it, has multiple cuisines, but like not very many, like maybe 3 or 4. So one is of course Indian because that's very close to my heart, and when we get to the concept of the restaurant, you'll understand why.
Yeah.
The second is broth-based stuff. So, for example, a good ramen, a good Vietnamese pho, even like say Singapore-style chicken rice with the broth on the side, like all that stuff makes one part of it. And finally, some good Korean spicy stuff, because as you correctly mentioned, I do watch a lot of Korean dramas, and I really enjoy the cuisine as well. And finally, and this is the last one, I swear, is a bit of Italian, and you'll see why when I get to the restaurant.
Okay. So, all right. I was excited until you mentioned Italian, because there are synergies that kind of can be played around with the other three.
Yeah.
With Italian, okay. As
I promise you, it's not that complex. It's not a very complex Italian. So there's that.
Yeah. It's not the complexity. It's the fusion of those flavors which bothers me. But because if you have listened to our previous episodes, we've had some. I mean, when I take it lightly when I say that, obviously the premise of this podcast is that we have unlimited amount of money to fund your dream restaurant.
Yes.
People have taken that to heart in a way and said, fine, if that's the case, I'm going to do whatever I want and whatever flavor I want, because that's supposed to work and you're able to fund me for that. And that's not worked out for the best at times.
Yes. But I promise you, you'll see why. I promise you, you'll see why.
Awesome. No, but I think the other sort of cuisines excite me. I like all of the cuisines. I have no problems with any of the individual cuisines per se.
Right.
If I were to rank them, or if you were to rank them, how would you rank those four?
I don't think I can. Because food is, like I said, something I turn to, especially when I need something, when I'm feeling a certain way, I turn to a certain type of food. So, for example, Indian, the kind of Indian that I'm talking about, at least for my restaurant, it has a very special meaning to me. So, that's why I've included that in my menu. Similarly with Korean food or the broth-based stuff that I spoke about, it's something that I turn to when I'm feeling a certain way. And that's why we're getting to the next part of, which is what's the restaurant all about. So it's a bit hard. Like, I can't explain the menu without explaining.
No, I get it. But no, I just want to know if you had any preference, but that makes sense because I would agree. Like when it's a cold, gray, cloudy, evening or afternoon, nothing better than like a bowl of hot ramen or a hot pepper chicken soup.
I swear.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's the best thing ever. But right. Yeah, Indian for me is like comfort when I don't want to experiment as much and I just want a bit of like a homely feel, that's there. And Italian is just comfort. I think Italian just gives you that, like something simple. I just want something done in 15-20 minutes and I can just
That's true. That's true.
All right. Now let's go into the location. Now you mentioned that you've either been brought up in a lot of places, you've stayed in a lot of places in India and also, abroad. If you were to open up your dream restaurant, where in the world would it be? Is it somewhere that has that deep connection, or is it somewhere completely random?
This was a really tough question, because initially I wanted to open it somewhere in India. So obviously I was thinking of either Calcutta or Shimla, but then I was like, Calcutta, I don't know, because I don't know whether it would work out. And then I thought about Shimla as well, but then I thought, maybe the investors won't be very happy with that location. I'm not so certain. Okay. And the reason I speak about Shimla is, well, I've spent a lot of my life in Calcutta, so obviously I'm more in touch with the Bengali side of my culture and my roots, but not so much with the Himachali side. So I feel like if I were to open something, I would like to do it in Himachal. But so yeah, I mean, I think I would want to do that in Himachal. So I really should be, because it's a big city. But yeah.
No, that's nice. I think you've got the right cuisines for that sort of weather as well.
Yes, that's true.
I would say. I think given what you were mentioning, I would have, like, if you chose something like a Chennai or something where it's like very humid half the time, I'm like, I'm not eating ramen in bloody Chennai.
That's true for Calcutta as well. My God.
Yeah. I
Can
think
be
Shimla
brutal
is the
at times.
perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can. So I think Shimla definitely works, and I like the fact that you're. Well, let's just say that you're compensating for the fact that you've not been in touch with those roots.
It's true.
But it's nice. It's nice to
Yes,
see at least in a dream scenario that you'd want to go back there.
that's true. And I don't know why I'm so emotional about this topic because I speak about it quite often with not only my family, but also, say, my husband, my friends, everyone. I don't know why I feel this deep need to sort of go back to Himachal or like to explore or to learn more about my culture, but it's some things you can't explain. So,
That's true. I completely get it. So makes sense. I think you've chosen a good location as well. I think even from I know I'm probably getting a little more grounded here, but if people were to go there,
Mhm.
I think Kasoli has this really nice Indian restaurant that's opened up. So people are
Yes,
moving to these sort of more hilly regions, more touristy places because they know people come there and
that's
um,
true.
give them good food there. So okay,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
of course this is obviously I think also taking them away from traditional Himachali food. Right? You're giving them something
Yes.
very different.
To to be fair, I don't think Himachali food gets a lot of attention. Even if you go to Himachal, most of the restaurants that you find would be quite generic North Indian food. So, to the extent that me myself, I don't really know much about Himachali cuisine. So that's again another thing. But we'll get to that when we get
Okay. All
later
right.
on.
Okay. Now that I've understood, or rather, we've understood what cuisine and the location, I want to understand how intricate this restaurant's gonna be. What's the decor like? What's the okay? Before that, what's the experience that you want to give someone? Is because do you want to give a fine dining sort of feel to it? A lot more comfort, chill vibe, casual dining experience.
Definitely something more on the comfort and the casual dining experience. I don't want people to feel like they have to, you know, be a certain way when you go into this restaurant. I want them to feel at home. I want them to be able to come in as they are, with whoever
Yeah.
they are, with kids, without kids, with pets, without pets. Like, come on, come all. I've never really been a big fan of fine dining restaurants. I haven't been to that many, but because I worked in hotels, I know a
Yeah.
bit about it. But it's really not my thing. I prefer a place that has a lot more soul and heart, but not so much fuss. So
Yeah.
unfussy.
So
So
so fine
the vibe.
dining. I mean, no, but fine dining. I get what you're trying to say, and I think a lot of fine dining restaurants are very snobby, very you know, um, bougie, very restrictive in a lot of ways. But
Yeah,
I've been to fine dining restaurants, and when I mean fine dining, I mean they you spend a certain amount,
of
but
course, yes.
I feel like the atmosphere is still a lot more relaxed. So I
Mm,
get that. I think there's a blend which people tend to can get right, and I've had it in a few places.
right.
But otherwise, yeah, I completely get what you mean. I think
Yeah,
a chill vibe's always welcome, and especially when you're in a place like Shimla, when you're just going there to relax. Why do you want to go and be like in formal attire?
that's true. And I think this also has to do with the fact that by virtue of my background, I've never really been into food as much as, say,
Mhm.
most other people would have. Because food at home was just home food, like it's regular, it's a common ground found between both the cultures, so it's quite basic and quite normal, but it was tasty. It's what home is for me. Going out meant, like, going to a restaurant, but nothing super fancy. My parents are doctors, they made their whole life from scratch, and so of course it was difficult. And you know we've never been to that many five-star hotels or whatever. I didn't really get into food concretely until before I joined hotel school, and I realized everyone around me knew what stock was and I did not. And I was like, okay, clearly something's gone wrong. Like, I have not been.
It's that thing that companies go up and down, right?
Yes, that's what I thought, but it wasn't. Why else would we be sitting in first year kitchen class and talking about stocks? What's going on?
Uh,
And I very quickly realized that everyone around me had a whole lot of interest in, well, French or European food and a base that comes from it.
okay.
Me, my God, food is dal chawal and like, at best a fish curry, like
Yeah,
what's going on? So because
fair.
I've always felt that distance. So I don't think a fine dining would be something I could do justice to. So that's the reason why I want something more
Makes
casual,
sense.
more heart and soul. So yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. I think no, I like the fact that there's a lot more thought as to why not fine dining. And
Mm,
that makes sense, right? Given the upbringing and the fact that you came into food a lot later in life, right?
yeah.
Um, like even for me, I think growing up it was home cooked food, but I always loved watching food shows.
Mm,
So I think that's where my introduction to food came about. Like I'd watch British classic like food shows. There was
mm,
Ready Steady Cook and all of that. We'd all watch it. So I came to know about different stocks and sauces and dishes and all of
yeah.
that. Only
Yeah.
came to try out when we were able to afford it. But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise
That's
yes, yeah, that makes sense.
and and even if like it was like intricate or like better cooking, for example, if I was holidaying at an aunt's place because most of my uncles on my mom's side they're in the army. So obviously my aunts knew how to cook, knew how to host, and like they used to cook like these really indulgent dishes. It would mostly be Indian. At
Yeah,
best, maybe like a homemade tiramisu made from like whatever ingredients, other replacements that you can find. But that is what defined good food for me. So it was never. That's one of the reasons why it's like fine dining is not
yeah,
something I
but
connect with.
and I think fine dining as well. Like you need to be comfortable to be there. Like at times
Right.
I feel like shit. I feel very underdressed or very like not deserving.
Yeah, and
And it feels
having
like
been
that.
behind the scenes, maybe I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Okay, now I want to get to talking about the design of your restaurant because this
Mhm.
is going to be very intriguing. You're in Shimla. You've got this multicultural cuisine restaurant there. But how does it look?
Oh my God, this was like the second hardest question. Okay, I think this was the
Okay.
toughest question for me because I'm not artistic at all. And I have zero design skills. And so
Fair. I
I was
think
like,
a lot of people on the podcast have, I wouldn't say they're the most creative people, but I
mm,
think they've taken like inspirations from restaurants or from places they've been. So I
yeah,
think that's what they've just kind of been like, oh, you remember that restaurant in that place? I just want to take that, and that's how I want the
right.
entry to be like.
So very, very heavily influenced by Paris because that's where I'm living
Of
right
course.
now. So what I do know is that I do want a restaurant with a terrace because Shimla can be a really beautiful place when the sun's out. I mean, maybe not so much in the summer, not in the afternoon. You don't want to burn yourself, but in general, you can imagine that ambiance with like just sitting outside on the terrace with the sun on your face. You're eating a good bowl of I don't know ramen or whatever, but and you're really enjoying it, you're really savoring it in the moment. But at the same time, when it gets too cold, when it's the evening time, you want to be in warm quarters inside indoors, so you've got that space as well. In terms of decor, there is a restaurant here in Paris that I was quite inspired by. They have very unfussy decor, but it's a restaurant called The Hood that does Singaporean food.
Okay,
um,
it's called the
Super
Hood.
fancy. They have cans of Milo on the table where they put their covers and the
Ah,
napkins, the spoon, the forks, the whole thing. And it's such a nostalgic thing. Like Milo is something that I used to drink a lot as a kid.
we all did,
So
yeah.
yeah, and I was heartbroken when they discontinued it, and I probably had to switch to Vita or something. And I was like, no, my life is not the same. So that is
Fair.
kind of the vibe that I'm going for. Maybe not Milo cans. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But really something chill, nothing crazy as such. I don't know if that helps. I'm so sorry.
No, that does help. I'm picturing almost like a fancier cottage of sorts.
Hmm. Could
Similar
be, yes.
cottage where you can have like a patio or a terrace on top and then with the roof shading and inside is
Yeah.
I would think that there's a fireplace. I always would like if it's in the snow and if it's in the winter, you have a place with the
Mm,
fire. And then you have the wooden tables and the long tables with the Milo cans and the just
mm,
a very unfussy, very rustic sort of place.
that's exactly it. That's exactly
That's
it.
exactly
I want
perfect.
it to feel like home.
Yeah, and I think that's what will work there, right? I can't see it being like this 5-star restaurant or hotel, within a
Yeah,
hotel. It has to be this independent, cozy comfort.
for sure. I do not want to be linked to any hotel which could like sort of usurp my plans. No.
You,
No, I want to have that independence. That's true.
you could always have your husband as the food and beverage manager, though.
We'll get to that.
Okay, okay. Now now that I've got like the perfect visual um, picture of
Hmm.
your restaurant, I want to now come to the crux of this entire podcast, right? It's about food, so let's talk about food, and that's your menu.
Yes.
We start with drinks
Okay.
because everyone does.
Hmm.
What if I were to come to the restaurant? What would you recommend I order for my drinks?
Um, I think it really depends on what you're going to eat first because you want the drinks to go along with that.
Okay.
But in terms of, say, general choices, I'm not that into cocktails, but I do want like a good wine list because, again, this is something that has been very recent in my life.
Okay.
A good glass of white wine or red wine is something that you can really never go wrong with. So, probably a good
What's your
wine list.
favorite? What do you prefer, red or white?
I prefer whites because they're
Okay.
easy, and reds kind of give me a headache sometimes. But
Yeah.
light reds like a Beaujolais is still fine. But the heavy reds can sometimes get a bit. Next day you
Yeah.
can feel it in your system.
Ye- Oh damn,
Whites
we're
are
that old.
uh, yes. I think my liver's given up on me.
Fair, fair.
And no whites are really easy. Even a rosé is okay, but I'm more of a white wine person. So
I'm glad you corrected yourself there.
yes,
I'm
yes.
glad. I caught that. I caught that. Very glad you.
We want to be very politically correct here. I don't want to inflame.
I've not kept any such rule, but feel free. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, no. To each their own, honestly. But
Hmm.
yes, I'm glad. I'm glad you corrected yourself on that, and I understood what you meant. Okay, so interesting that way. And I thought it would be a red wine thing. The other thing I was thinking of is maybe like a warm mead or a cider or something like that, like a mulled wine also maybe, depending on the
Um,
climate, I
yes,
guess.
depending on the seasons, I think we could
Yeah.
maybe alternate. So, for example, maybe winters you want to do more mulled wine, more warming things. But definitely in the summers, a fresh cider, nothing like it, nothing beats it. So
You'd
that's
have enjoyed a good sangria as well,
sangrias. I'm a bit like I don't know.
but they're
People
more
can get
red.
them wrong at times. People
Yeah.
can get them wrong at times. Sometimes it can be too sweet and it can be too fruity and overwhelming. And I think, well, if you think about classic summer drinks, you of course have sangrias, you have the Aperol spritz, but my God, I think Aperol spritzes are everywhere. They're overdone. Like, let's calm
Yeah.
down. Like, let's do
Yes.
other spritzes maybe, but
I
no
agree.
Aperol spritz in my restaurant. Even though, yeah, the Italians will probably rise up against me, but
It's okay. They're
it's
only 1/4 of your restaurant. That's not an issue.
that's true. But it's too much. So
Yeah,
we keep it
I
simple.
think
We don't go
I
crazy.
agree with you. I think Aperol Spritz is now it's the tiramisu of drinks.
Yeah, it's
It
everywhere.
is. I'm sorry. I think I've insulted in Italy twice here by saying it's the tiramisu, but
Um,
everyone does it. I think everyone does it. It's. I'm sure even they're fed up of seeing it being made
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, absolutely. And then, it's again, even that they get wrong sometimes. Even that, like they put too much Aperol and it's too bitter, and you're like, this is not good, but I'm
Yeah.
paying, I don't know how much for this Aperol spritz in Paris. Like, no, no, no.
No,
It's
no,
over.
definitely not. But this is the dream restaurant. So even if it means that you want the perfect sangria, we can make it happen. But I agree
Um,
with what I think a red wine or a white wine or just the wines in general,
yeah,
the safest things to go with.
we keep it simple. We
Yeah,
keep it simple. We don't
keep it
go too
classy.
crazy. Yeah. And well, not classy, simple. Because I was just gonna say, I do want a few bottles of soju as well in the restaurant. And when we get to the next
Okay.
part, you can see why. But
Okay.
a few bottles
Interesting.
of soju never hurt nobody.
Nobody. Definitely not. Okay. Interesting drinks. Now, before we get to the food side of things, I want to ask you, are you someone who prefers a starter or someone who prefers a main course? Because, okay, now we've had people who sat on the fence as well. I'll tell you, I'm a person who prefers starters, tapas, the smaller bites, because I just
Mhm.
I feel like I get to sample a whole load more of dishes.
Mhm.
But it would depend also. So, but I'm not going to influence your decision.
Mm.
What's your take?
So when I was envisioning the dream restaurant, I mean, I obviously thought that it's going to be open only for lunch and dinner. So
Okay.
again, going back to the whether I'm a starters person or not, I think if it was lunch, I would probably go straight to the mains because I want something big and hearty. But maybe if it's dinner and I don't really want to eat something very heavy, I would probably go for sharing plates and small plates and stuff like that, with tapas and everything. So it
But
depends on the meal period.
is this because people say that you can't you're supposed to have a light dinner before you sleep, or is this just a
No,
personal thing that you take?
no, it's a personal thing. I mean, and it depends. Like, for example, if I'm with friends, obviously you want to have sharing plates, so you can do two, three starters, and that's it. And then you see how you feel.
Yeah.
And then if you, of course, want to go to the mains, you can. But yeah, I mean, even then, it's just easier to do small plates and finish it off during dinner
Okay.
time. You're
I've never
exhausted.
heard. But you're actually the first one to come out and say that it depending on the meal, because we've had people who said it depends on the restaurant. So, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
like Indian restaurants, you want to have kebabs and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to have, some people say you want to have the biryani, so not the kebab. So it depends. So people have said it depends on restaurants. Some people have says it depends on their mood. Some people have said it depends on what's on offer. So it's stuff like that. But the
Yeah.
first time I've never heard this, that it depends on, like, from lunch I want a hearty meal, for dinner I want a sort of sharing plate,
Yeah,
small bite
I
thing.
don't know why, but it's something that
No,
I
it makes sense.
prefer, and
It
I
makes
and maybe
sense.
maybe also because a lot of your social stuff happens, say, around dinner, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone gets done from work, you're free in the evenings, and you go out with your friends or your colleagues or whatever. And it just makes sense to have many small plates so you can test a little bit of everything around hearty conversations, but instead of hoarding like one big bowl to yourself and be
Yeah.
like,
No, I remember this time when I went to London, a few friends and I had gone to this place that just served croquettes.
oh, nice.
So it's like we had like platters and platters of croquettes, and we had like this chorizo popcorn and stuff like that. It's like,
Oh, yum. That sounds so good.
yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. But that's the point. Like, we just kept ordering and ordering. And now that's I mean, my wallet, or our wallets definitely do cry, because we keep just ordering starters after starters, and that adds up. But
Life
my
is
God,
short.
like, yeah, so is a bank balance, but that's a different story. um,
Fair point.
no, that's
Fair
not for
point.
this. That's not for this podcast.
Yes.
All right. So now let's start with the starters, right? Um,
Okay.
start with the appetite starters. Yeah. What? How would you go about it? Because you've got four different cuisines. Which cuisines play a prominent role in the starter side of things?
Whew. Okay. So maybe before that, I'll explain the concept that I had in
Yes.
mind, and
Oh, yeah,
you
there's a
guys might find
concept.
it very
Wow. Of
cheesy.
course.
Oh my God. You might find it very cheesy, but basically, like I said, food can be a lovely medium to tell stories, right? And if I'm opening a restaurant, it's in a way I want to talk about the relationship that I have with food.
Okay.
And I do tend to turn to food when I'm feeling certain emotions. So I have like menus that are based on certain emotions. Oh my God, you can tell me if this is ridiculous. You can tell me to like, what? What's going on?
Listen, woman. I've heard the most ridiculous stories on this podcast. I don't think this comes even close to being ridiculous.
So my menus, like at least there's a menu which is sorrow, there's anger, there's love, and there's homecoming. So there's four.
Oh, I didn't
So I'm
expect
a
that.
little
I didn't
confident.
expect that. I thought it was going to be like Shreyashi's journey or some sort.
No, no.
But the fact that you have like a sort of set menu termed
Yeah,
after emotions,
emotions.
that's awesome though. That I love
I
that
don't know,
concept.
like I want people to experience the same things. Like, for example, if you're feeling lonely, cold, and you want to, you're just sad, something's gone wrong in your life or whatever. I usually turn to the broth-based dishes. So, like, the sorrow is going to be like, say, ramen, pho, things that are comforting, things that are like a warm hug in the inside. Then there's anger, and I mean, this can be this is something that I really turn to. A lot of things with gochujang because I really want spicy food and, like, quick spice. So, Korean ramen, which is like a very
Yeah.
specific thing. Something like a street foodish thing, like a tteokbokki, which you can keep eating and, like, sharing with people, and, like, you're venting out. You're, like, eating with your friends with a bottle of soju by the
Okay.
side. That's where the soju comes
Okay.
in.
Okay.
So that's anger. Then you have love, and this is, oh my God, you're gonna laugh so much.
Italian,
So
isn't it?
yes, but
Of
it's not for
course.
the reason that you think. It's because Arjun, my husband, he makes the most simple yet probably the best spaghetti aglio olio that I've ever had in my life, and he makes it really well, and that's what reminds me of love. So, of course, so that features in the menu. So there's no pizzas, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
But
I
there's
knew
a,
spaghetti was going to come into play at this point.
yeah,
When
but
you said
it's
love, when you said love, the only thing I could think about is Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, hey, nice one. Yes.
Lady and the Tramp.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I was
So
like, yeah, that's
definitely
all that was
having,
required.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
well, you could make it all that, but I don't know. For me, the association was completely different.
If I was sitting at the table and I've got like a bunch of other people sat at the same table, and one orders something, I know, okay, there's something gone wrong with. I can. It's perfect for it's a therapist night, like
It
dream,
is.
because
It
he just
is.
sat there, he's like, and he sees like someone ordering something that's sorrow. He goes up to it like, here's my card. Talk to me.
Yes. Like, that's a good way to make sales.
Exactly. I'm like, I'll just go to this restaurant because I know a bunch of sorrow people with a lot of trauma and sorrow will
No.
come here at some point and
No, I
order.
mean, of course, I named it sorrow, but maybe we can make it a bit more lighthearted
No,
because
no,
it's also
no.
like,
We stick with it. We stick with it. I love the fact that it's basically the inside out of a meal of a restaurant.
sort of. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
I love it.
I didn't
I love it.
articulate it that way, but you're so right.
Yeah, it helps that I have a pop culture podcast as well on the side. So
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. And my final menu, which is homecoming, would have maybe two say combinations, mains. One would be Himachali, so, like, something that I ate when I visited our village in Hamirpur. Um, we had makki ki roti, like, just made, like, fresh off the chulha with kadhu, which is like curry but without the basin, so it's a lot more runny.
Oh, that's nice.
And some saag by the side, of course.
Oh,
And another one would be a Bengali combination, so like a fish curry with rice and mashed yam with mustard, which is something that I really, really enjoy when I go
mm.
home.
that
Um,
that that I'll need your parents for, because the moment I eat that, I'll need doctors.
no,
Yeah, I'm allergic to yams, so
you're allergic to yam? Oh no, maybe
yeah.
we can change it up. We do potatoes for you.
No, it's not for me. That's fine. I anyway don't eat fish, so I'm like, anyway going
Okay,
to skip that bit. But the
noted.
Himachali one sounds really, really nice.
Yeah,
It's
and
I love a saag, especially during winters. In Delhi winters, a
it's
sarson
the
ka saag.
best.
Oh, it's the best.
The best thing
It's the
ever.
best thing.
And
Yeah.
maybe we can get so my Masi, and you can ask my husband about it, because I think that's why he married me. My Masi makes a wicked green chili pickle, like absolutely
Ooh, okay.
amazing. And I'm gonna try to get her to feature this in the menu.
Nice.
It would
Okay.
totally be a hit. So
Yeah,
that's the
I mean, honestly, I can also picture your Masi having like a stall in there.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, selling her pickle
100%.
stall. Yeah, I've seen that in
That
restaurant. I'm like, yeah,
that's such a great
nice.
idea. She could totally do that. Oh my God. And yeah, so that's kind of the concept, which is why it's a bit hard to talk about just the cuisines and just the menu, because I was like,
Yeah. Okay, no, but all right. But in the sorrow, this thing, right? Obviously, there are. I'm guessing if it is like a set menu that you enjoy the whole thing, what would you term as the starter from each of the four sort of menus? What would be a Korean starter, or a Chinese broth based one, or a
Mhm.
Indian one? What would you put in there?
So for the broth-based one, I think, and oh my God, this is super basic, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the menu. But I always think about good momos, when, like juicy, like
Yeah.
super good momos, as a starter, because that kind of blends in with the rest of the
Are
menu.
you going
Again,
the xiaolong bao with the soupy dumplings or just the normal momo?
I'm talking normal. I'm talking normal
Normal
momos,
with the
something that
the
you would
spicy
find.
ass sauce.
Yes, yes. There's actually a lot of places here that do Tibetan style momos here in Paris.
All
So
right.
they're a lot more brothy inside, and they are amazing. They're really really outstanding. So that again is something that warms the heart and could be coherent with the rest of the menu, even though it's not the same cuisine. But doing things that are not a part of the same cuisine is kind of like something that I do at home all the time. So
Okay.
maybe it's an extension of that. I would love to have someone consult on this because I'm not the best at creating or engineering my own menu. So
We'll get the
we'll
dream
see.
chef to do that. But fine. All right. I've got an understanding though of like what things could be.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's fair. Now getting to at least the main course of things. What
Oh
are
yeah.
you've mentioned from the Indian side, which
Yeah.
awesome. What are where are the best sort of furs, ramens that you've had, and you want to kind of bring that into this restaurant?
Um, like I said, I haven't really experienced the kind of Asian food that I've experienced here in Paris. I've never really had that chance in Mumbai, for example, where I lived for many years, to really explore that kind of food. So most of my influences are from here.
Okay.
There are quite a few, like the hood for Singapore style chicken rice, for sure. That's a big inspiration. There's a place called Korawari Ramen in which makes Japanese style ramen, where I always go to for something hearty, brothy. Like it's really really great. And honestly, for pho restaurants, you can find them pretty much everywhere, and it's something that Arjun and I would sort of escape to these pho restaurants because in Paris, even though you're studying and it's cold, they give you cold food for lunch, like sandwiches
Yeah,
and
yeah,
salads,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're like,
yeah, yeah.
no,
No,
I
yeah,
want
yeah,
something
it is.
warm. And there
Like
was
the
a,
UK was no better. The UK was
I can
definitely, but I
imagine,
didn't have
yeah.
like four restaurants to run to. At least you're in a good culinary capital there too.
That's true. I will say Paris is very lacking when it comes to Indian food. So at least you had that going on for you. Maybe London, you would get like
I wasn't
better
in
Indian
London.
food.
That's the problem.
But I
If I
mean, okay,
was,
yeah.
then I'd have been okay.
Mm,
But yeah, at Warwick, it was if you're not eating out, I just cooked. I was like,
yeah,
I make better food than what I can get out there. So, but I
fair.
did. There
Yeah.
was a really nice Kerala place that was there, which was like yeah, talking about like homecoming. That was for me, right? Like
Yeah.
something back to get appams and Malabar parathas and beef and this. I was like,
Wow.
oh, and it was
Yeah.
actually good. It wasn't one of those curry houses that UK
Mm,
claim to have, and that those are a disaster. But this was actually well done. So
yeah.
see, yeah, I understand that bit. So uh, hmm, okay.
I'm
So
sorry, I don't have a
um,
lot of restaurants where you
no,
could
no,
find
but
reference to it.
not really. It's not about me being related, but it's just more. I want to understand, where you've kind of picked up this inspiration because you have it on your menu, right? So I just want to
Yes.
understand. And obviously, it doesn't have to mean that you've traveled to Vietnam and had like the
No.
best pho and the best restaurant and all that. I mean, honestly, you can get that anywhere. Like, you can get good Middle Eastern food, even if you're not
Mm,
here in the country, you can get it outside, right? So I've
yeah.
had the best sort of falafel I've had was in Germany. Like so,
Really?
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Near the Berlin Wall, it was a stall that had like falafel and it was pouring. So you kind of have that
Mm,
hot falafel in a wrap, and it's like those kind of things do hit home a lot more.
yeah. Yeah.
So I get that. So it's not about me having to relate to it, but it's just more I want to understand your where that inspiration comes for you to have that on the menu and wherever it is. I'm sure your dream chef will probably get it even better, make it even better, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, this is the dream
I
after
hope
all.
so. Yeah. And because I've spent so much time living alone in Paris, I think this way food is like something that I turn to quite often. and that's really where majority of my inspiration comes from. Even for Korean food, for example, it's something that I go out on my own and I eat. If I've just really had a crappy day, I just go and I eat
Can you go
at a
to a
Korean
restaurant alone?
restaurant.
Have you been to a
Of
restaurant? You
course,
can. Okay.
so
Because a
many
lot of
times.
people can't
I
do
do
that.
know that. Yeah, I understand
Yeah.
that. But I think it's more like either. I mean, I'm not gonna let the fact that I'm alone hold me back from experiencing something amazing. And sometimes it's easier to get a table when you're alone
Yeah. Yeah,
in
it
very
is.
crowded places.
It
So it
is.
actually works really well for me. And then when you're in a big group, maybe someone doesn't want to eat what you really want to eat, and you kind of have to compromise. But then when you go by your own,
Yeah.
you kind of have that hearty meal, and you're good.
Yeah,
So
I love going. I mean, even when you travel alone, right? You have to eat
Hmm,
outside alone, but I love it. I don't mind. I like my company. I like
that's true.
my
Yeah,
company. It
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So yeah, I think I've enjoyed. I've never when people say, "Oh my God, can you do this? How have you done this alone?" Or how have you gone to a movie alone? I was like, "What do you expect me to do?"
Just
Like,
go.
yeah, just go. There's
Just
nothing
go.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So that being said, now we move on to what I believe to be the most important part of the meal. Uh,
Hmm.
I know your husband does not, which is why I'm delaying his podcast as much as possible. But it is the dessert round.
That's true. And
Please
that's the
tell me
part of
that's
the
the one
menu
thing where
that's the part of the menu that's called joy. So,
yes, okay,
so
okay. I was just gonna be like, please tell me that you're not that's the one thing that you disagree on.
no, 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 no. I totally agree. And a dessert, like a good dessert, is this perfect way to just sort of round out your entire meal. I mean, it can be an additional experience, like a separate experience on its own. It's no, no, dessert is really important.
So joy
Regardless of
is
what
the
my husband
perfect.
says.
It's the perfect course. I mean, set menu name. I think joy is just awesome. I think that's the
Yeah,
best thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I've not had very few desserts have actually made me not okay. Maybe they've not tasted great, but the fact that I've
Mm,
ordered it, they come to the table is
yeah.
joyful in itself.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's the perfect ending, right? It's the perfect conclusion.
Yeah,
So no
it's
matter
the
which
perfect.
way you come in,
It's the perfect start. It's the perfect middle. It's the perfect end. I did tell you, like at your wedding, I was just going for desserts. If it wasn't for the
oh my
Nalini Nihari,
God.
I was just going to go for desserts. I was like, there's no other way.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I get my people drink coffee, people drink tea. I
Mm,
don't drink either of them. I get my rush from sugar.
okay. Okay. All right.
So yeah, I'll do a
Well
hot
understood.
chocolate. I'll do whatever, but I will only
Mm,
do sugar based stuff, and that's my
nice.
yeah.
I will keep that in mind
Uh,
for the
it
next
was
time we meet.
no, I'll tell you. I was in Delhi for the best part of 6 years. So maybe around like 3, 4 years.
Mm,
I'd come back from work, and before dinner, at around 6:30, yeah, 6:30 or so, I would have a glass of almost like a pint of Sprite or Seven Up,
mm.
and a heaped tablespoon or two of chocolate ice cream every day. It's perfect. Yes, it's not great for the health, but it's perfect.
When you're young, you can sort of absorb a
Yeah,
lot of things.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe that's
No,
not something you
yeah.
would do now, but
Not every day, but I still like my post dinner sort of something sweet.
Prady, can I ask you something? I was talking about this to some friend of mine because you mentioned Seven Up and ice cream. But do you remember there was a time we used to make Coke floats, like we put ice
Yeah,
cream in? That
I
was a
still
thing,
love.
right? It was not
Yeah,
a fever
yeah, yeah.
dream.
No,
Okay.
so I mean, diners here. I remember Johnny Rockers, which is a burger place, had this crazy Coke float that
No
I'd
way.
had, but also Baskin Robbins used to do
No,
this. They used to do
they
the
have.
shake where they used to put like Sprite, or it used to differ. They had a green version and they had, I think, an orange version. The orange version was a Fanta. The green version was a Sprite, and then it'd be like ice cream and Sprite, and then they make a milkshake. Oh, it was the best thing.
No
I
way.
Now the
Okay.
problem is I can't go back and find out what it was. I think it was called Razaz. Okay, it
Hmm.
sounded awesome in and of itself when you're a kid, and something called it's called Razaz and it's got like
I'll have a
Z's.
Razaz, please.
Yeah, Sprite Razaz. Okay, now anyone who's brought up in Dubai, please do let me know that wasn't a fever dream from my end. But yeah,
Exactly.
I loved it. I do love it. Makes
Because
sense.
I think I remember I was telling someone, one of my friends here, that, oh, in birthday parties, we used to do this quite often. They were like, what? You put ice cream and Coke? Like, I was like,
What?
that did happen, right? That was
Yeah,
true.
that's a very famous drink.
Thank you. Oh my God. I know I wasn't going crazy.
No, yeah, and yeah, you can rely on me to tell you whether desserts are actually were true or
Did they
not.
happen? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Um, but that being said, desserts. What is part of the love course?
Okay.
No,
Of
that
the
sounds
love course?
wrong. Yeah, that sounds very wrong. But of the set, no, whatever. Joy set, joy
Joy.
set,
Yeah.
joy
Yeah.
course. I don't know why I said love. That's
But
Italian. Yeah. Hey, I love
um
my desserts. That's joy. Love
so
doesn't matter.
I'm gonna keep it again super uh, simple, but very, very inspired by the desserts that I really like. And so we're going to have a tiramisu, but it's for a reason. My brother, when he was growing up, he suddenly got a lot into making desserts at home. So when I was away for college, every time I came back, he would make caramel custard for me so that the
Oh
night I
shit! He can make a caramel custard.
he can make a
Fudge, that is
mean caramel
mad.
custard, which I definitely want on the menu. And then he graduated to making the most amazing tiramisu that I've ever had in my life. Again, I could be biased, fair. Um,
Fair. Yeah.
but it's something that holds very, very strong memories for me. So I think I would whichever one he wants, like either the custard or the tiramisu would be up
Have it both. Like the custard is definitely a more like I think, but the custard does have a sort of like Calcutta sort of influence, right? I think there is a
yeah.
British Calcutta that vibe. I think
Yeah.
even in like some
Or
of those
even
very
like
old
the Mumbai Rani
establishments.
cafes vibe, right? Like
Yeah,
so
exactly.
again,
So a
it's
lot of the yeah,
so I'm
definitely.
quite I would love to have that as a part of the menu. And I mean, it was something really special because he and I are 6 years apart. So it wasn't that we were the closest when we were growing up because of our age difference.
Yeah,
But he would still make this effort. So every time I would come back from Bombay to Calcutta, and the very same night he would have like custard ready. And I think it's really sweet.
yeah.
So that is definitely part of the menu. Um, the other thing that I really, really want to be a part of the menu is, and probably this could be just the winter special, is something based on Nolengur. Um,
Okay.
I have to. Oh my god, I have to.
Yeah. It has
So
to. Yeah, that's what I was
yeah,
gonna come to. I was like, you were born in one of the dessert capitals of this country.
yeah,
Like, you got to have it.
that's
So
true.
yeah,
So that's going to be another feature. I mean, and it could depend. Like it could be a patishapta, which is like this kind of a crepe thing filled with coconut and jaggery, drizzled with Nolengur. Have it with vanilla ice cream. It's perfect. Or without. It's perfect just as it is. So that could be another part of the joy menu. And what else? What else would I want? Mm, oh yes, gajar ka halwa.
oh yeah, definitely. A good winter's like carrot halwa. Oh, it's the best.
It's
It's the best.
amazing with a whole lot of ghee in it. Like
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
pull out all the
Okay,
stops.
we might be jumping already into a controversial thing, but cashews and raisins in a gajar ka halwa or just plain, and also cold or hot.
No hot. What on earth do you mean by cold? Who eats
I
gajar
don't
ka
mind a
halwa
cold
cold?
gut. I don't mind it, honestly. I
Oh my
prefer a hot one, but I don't mind a cold one
no, I think
off
I,
from the
I would
fridge.
I would be hot. Like,
Okay,
microwave it, like if anything. Just,
okay,
bring
okay.
out the flavors.
Fair.
Um, Cashews is fine. I accept. Raisins, mm,
I, I
best
don't
with
mind them
fruit.
just plain, but yeah, I would prefer cashews more than I would raisins. I think that's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
exactly, exactly. Because raisins, I feel like it adds a weird texture. And it's sweet as well. But with cashew, the
yeah,
texture is a bit more acceptable somehow when you compare it to the the halwa, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely no raisins on my halwa, please.
Fair. All those desserts sound amazing. The one thing that I like Asian cuisine a lot, but the one thing I'm always often let down is by their lack of really great desserts.
It's true. I mean,
It's a lot
at
of
best,
coconut milk, a lot of yeah,
yeah,
but
at best it's like coconut milk with tapioca and like some sugar syrup on it,
or
and
I have to wait for the mango season for sticky rice and mango. But even then, I'm like, it's not enticing enough that
yeah.
yeah, which is a
But
sad
I
thing.
think,
But
or maybe we've not experienced enough Asian desserts to begin with. So, maybe that's a part that, I mean, I know I can speak for myself. I can't speak for everyone, but I really haven't experienced good like good Asian desserts as such,
possibly,
except for
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Right.
I've had a lot of them, but it's probably been the more mainstream ones. Maybe there's one that's
Mm,
hidden away. I don't mind like a sweet bao or something like that. That's not that's fine. But
yeah,
even then, I mean, it's not something that I'm really excited for. And I think that's
yeah,
where it's a out of everything that the Asian cuisine offers, I think that's their weakest point. And
yeah.
that's not that's fine, but yeah, it is.
Every cuisine has their.
I think they used to have those dough balls which are coated in sesame seeds but with chocolate inside, which I really love.
Mm,
Like, basically fried donuts essentially, which
oh
was
yeah.
insane. But like I said, not their finest work.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just rather turn to the Indian stuff or maybe
Yeah,
European
for me,
pastries
it's
and
like if you
desserts.
have an Indian restaurant, you have to have like a dessert platter because I want to try all of it.
Yes.
My personal favorite is like a rasmalai, and there's this restaurant that does like
Mm,
the mini rasmalai ones, and and I love those because I have a lot more
okay.
rasmalai that I can eat.
And I think the one thing I would probably want to bring in is this concept in Paris that we have, which is called a café gourmand, where you have basically a cafe at the end of the meal, but then you also have like little bits of every dessert on the menu, or maybe say 4 desserts out of a six uh, dessert
Yeah,
selection. And so in that way, you're having a cafe, but you're also getting to taste a bite of like every single dessert. So that is something I would definitely feature because it lets you taste everything and
perfect.
you know what to order com-
Yeah,
like in whole when you come back next time. So I'm
that,
going to make sure you come back.
yes, awesome. Now we get to an interesting part of the menu, which is the founder's creation. So this is something that you want in your menu. You have veto power over the chef. So even if it's something crazy, we've had some crazy ones, right?
Okay.
We've had really bad ones. We've had butter chicken pani puris, and we've had pani puri pizzas and stuff like that. No, but I'm just saying that these are people. They have their opinions,
No,
strong
of course.
opinions, but they have. Uh, but no, this is something that they have veto power over. So we want people to kind of unleash their creative side on the menu. So what is that one creative dish that you want to have
Well,
on there?
I don't think it's very creative as much as it is a bastardization of two cultures, but carbonara ramen.
Oh, yeah. There we
I
go.
promise you. Okay, so it's not entirely a new creation, right? Because in
It's
the world of instant ramen, it exists. It exists, but
honestly,
obviously I want to
yeah.
enhance it. So you have the spicy part as well, but you do have a milky and cheesy part, and sort of bring it out with more aromatics and stuff like that. But it's like the perfect indulgence when you
Okay, so I'm picturing are you picturing a more Italian side to it or a more brothy
more
side
Korean
to it?
side, more
Okay,
Korean side
that's
to it, more Korean
okay.
side to it. So it's like just really spicy sauce, but then you mix a bit of this milky, creamy thing going on, and so it's yeah, that's
Okay.
what it looks like.
Because
But
I was thinking of more like, you've heard of those egg drop soups, right?
yes,
So you need egg in a carbonara. So you've got that.
yeah,
You've got the noodles, which are basically spaghettis in there. And you've
mm,
got, instead of like a guanciale or a chorizo, you've got like a pork
mm,
diced. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. And I
mm-hmm.
can see that working. But uh, if we
But yeah.
haven't insulted the Italians enough, here we go.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the Italians, but like it's an amazing creation, and I
Arrivederci.
think it would be that's that's it. I'm never allowed to enter Italy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Next time you post something on Insta and I ask you, are you in Italy? You're like, oh no, don't you remember? I got banned from that country.
I got banned. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Um,
But
no,
at least then my
I think
podcast has reached all the way to Italy, so that's awesome news.
that's so in a way that's good news.
That's good news. Yeah. It's okay. That sacrifice I'm willing to make.
No, but yeah, carbonara ramen is going to be my founder's creation. Maybe
Okay.
with an
All
egg
right.
on top. Like, I don't know.
Uh,
How much
all right.
worse can you make it?
No, but honestly, your menu sounds insanely good. I love the fact that you, despite not wanting to go the fine dining route, you've gone with it with those set menus, which a lot of
Yeah,
these things
okay,
do.
fair.
But no, but I like the fact that, see, like I said, it's fine to have that fine dining feel to it, but as long as the atmosphere is still a lot more inviting and comfortable, and uh, this is the dream restaurant. We can make it the most inviting, comfortable place in the world.
Yes.
So with the perfect servers, waiters, and making you feel like you're you come to, they're basically waiting hand on knees to basically serve you. So
yeah, for sure. We're definitely not recruiting French waiters who
no. Oh,
don't really.
we want to ridicule French also. Perfect.
No,
Let's
it's
start.
something
We're
that's
done with
known.
Italians. Now we do French. Now next Spanish,
No.
Portuguese.
I have disclaimer. I have the highest respect for France, which is the country where I'm living in right now. But no, I think our Indian hospitality is known much more for its warmth and kindness than, say, the French.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily, this is in Shimla. I was just going to say, well, we just took a lot more French people out of their jobs, but no, this is in Shimla, so it's okay.
Yeah, this
it's
is
okay.
in Shimla. Yeah.
It's okay. All right. Now, let's move on. Like I said, menu is perfect. I definitely want to reserve my seat at the table at your restaurant. But before that, we need to clear up a few things. Who is your dream chef? Who would be your dream guest?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It doesn't have to be anyone. So that's the thing, right? A lot of people, when I say dream chef, doesn't have to be like a Gordon Ramsay or whatever. It could be anybody in your life who wants to be.
And also because I don't follow restaurants and chefs as closely as, say, most of your peers probably do. So my dream chef for a lot of these would be, spoiler alert, my husband.
Okay.
Well, that's also because there's no one else that I would trust with this baby. I mean, we're having a baby together, so this is it. But also for a lot of the, like, for example, the dessert items and the part of the Himachali part of the menu and stuff, I would really love to invite my granddaunts or my mommies to come and cook. Maybe we could have like specials done at certain festivals and times of the year where, they'd come in and cook, because I mean, they love doing it with such a passion and they're so good at it. They're so good at it. So I would love to have their hands on board for this. So that would be my dream chef.
Perfect.
Sorry, I give you many chefs.
No,
but
that's fine. It's all right. You need a brigade to cook. I mean, I'm pretty sure Arjun would be tearing his whatever little hair he has on his head. If he was to cook this entire thing. No, I'm just kidding. But he would. You'd be like, nah, I don't know.
There's certain
taking me
things
from manager, you've taken me from F&B manager and pushed me into the kitchen.
If he was here, he'd say, "Oh, you're making me a cooker again," So
what is this?
No, yeah, what is this? Devotion.
I left India to go to Morocco. Now you push me back into this country.
I know what's going on. Yeah, so that's the dream chef, and my dream guests. Honestly, I would love if all of my friends could come and experience this.
Oh,
because they've seen me through different phases of my life, or even my entire family. If they could make it, that would be great. I think my first ever.
No, they will make it. I mean, we've got enough money to fly them from wherever, so they will make it. It's just who do you want there? Yeah,
definitely friends and family. I think my first ever, the opening night, would just be friends and family night for me.
Perfect.
And yeah. So that's it. But on the other hand, because I listen to a lot of K-pop as well, if one of them stars drop by, I wouldn't mind so much. A girl can always dream.
We could always have the ribbon cutting ceremony. They're there.
I don't know. Let's see. But yeah,
But
I
no,
wouldn't mind.
I think having your friends and family there and your friends basically reading the menu and like, oh, I remember why she has this under sorrow. Oh, I remember why she has this under love.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
exactly. Yeah.
That'll be fun. All right, now we get to the most important part of this podcast, and I'm guessing this is the section where I think a lot of people stumble. They've thought through everything, but this is the one section people are like, oh shit, I don't really know. So we've often done a lot of brainstorming session during this, and this is the name of your restaurant.
Yes.
Do you have a name?
I do. And
Perfect.
I will admit, I did ask ChatGPT about it. But ChatGPT came up with things like, I don't know, Giuseppe, like a French name or an Italian name or Amara. Like, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure we have enough Amaras in this world. We're not going to name this Amara. No, this is not happening. And it was very generic stuff or, not really the vibe I was going for. But then upon further reflection, because it's a restaurant where the food's telling stories, right? So katha, it's stories.
Oh, nice.
It's simple. It's can be translated very easily into many languages. So just katha. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. That's nice.
It's a tad bit more classical than I'd like it to be. I mean, I'd like something a bit more casual, but kahani is like, I mean, everyone's going to remember the movie.
Yeah, no, I think this is nice. I think given the feel that you have, I think this is a nice one to have. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're trademarking this just so that somebody who's listening to this does not steal the concept, but damn, that is a really nice name. And there have been a few instances when people have given their names and I've been very impressed by the names, and I think this was one of them. Because like I said, otherwise we just brainstorm, we come up with almost translated titles. Like they have the idea and then they translate it. So AI and ChatGPT help.
Yes.
If you know this reference, then you know also when we're recording this, because this is pretty latest news. Okay, now that we know about the name of your restaurant, okay, before we move on to the last two sections, I'll give the viewers and the listeners a quick recap.
Sure.
So this is Kata, a multicultural, multi-cuisine restaurant located in the hills of Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. And you've got 4 different menus, which probably are metaphors for our feelings. Yeah. So you've got the Indian side, which is homecoming. You've got the Italian side, which is love. You've got the broth-based food, which is sorrow.
That's right.
And you've got the Korean side, which is anger. And to top it all off, we've got our own separate menu, which I really, really love, which is called Joy for Desserts. You can, at Kata, you can try out, different wines. You can try out different cuisines. So you can want something on the ramen side. You want something on the Korean spicy end. You want something like a spaghetti aglio olio. You want a Himachali Indian side or a Bengali Indian side. You can try all of that. It's a very rustic, fancier cottage, a rustic inn of sorts. Let's call it a rustic inn. Yeah,
rustic inn sounds nice.
Yeah, perfect. Offering this, and who's in the kitchen? Well, it is Shreyashi's husband and Masi's. So if you hear a lot of arguing and a lot of noise from the kitchen, well, it's her fault.
That's normal. That's just home.
Yeah, that's just home. Yeah, so you asked for it. And then apart from that, well, if you're lucky enough to be invited to the opening night, you get to take a selfie with a popular K-pop star.
Yes.
Or band.
Why not?
And as well as meet some of Shreyashi's friends and understand the reasoning and the inspiration behind all of her cuisine choices. Her dish choices. So does that sound like your dream restaurant?
That sounds like my dream restaurant right there.
Awesome. All right. Now that we've done with the big part, it's time to relax and get a little controversial.
Oh.
Yeah. So we start off with your most controversial food opinion. What food opinion do you have that's got people chasing you after with pitchforks and knives?
Oof. Okay. Does it mean, do I have to stick to, like, for example, food combination opinions, or it can just be in general
Anything.
food?
So it just anything that you feel like it's a personal choice, right? Like some people do not like certain foods, so that's
Mm.
their controversial opinion. We've had the basic ones as well. So you've had no cardamom should never exist in a biryani, or yeah, yeah, yeah. So we've had a couple of things like that, or
Right.
pizza's best served cold.
Ooh, okay. All right. Everyone has right to their opinions. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the second one, but yeah. So all of that being put together, yeah. So something that you think is controversial, like when you kind of go to a restaurant or when you talk to people about it, people are like, "What, really?"
Okay, I have one, but it's slightly beverage rather than food. I I think it's okay to like instant coffee. You do not have to be a coffee connoisseur, but you still want your caffeine kick of the day. It's fine if you're stockpiling some Nescafe Gold in your locker just to make coffee, because the ones on the machine are too bitter. The one down in the cafe, a special cafe, the I don't know, the artisanal coffee is again not something that suits your taste. It's fine if you prefer instant coffee and that's what you need to get on with your day. You do not have to, as soon as you enter your late 20s, early 30s, you do not have to develop a personality that says, oh, I prefer coffee from this place and this part of
I
the
want
world.
my ground Colombian coffee beans,
Yes,
and
it's either that or nothing. I won't drink it. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine if you
fair.
if you prefer Nescafe. It should not be something that gets you, like, a lot of scrutiny or whatever, because this is something that I do in office, and I'm
Yeah.
always scared that one day
Oh
somebody's
yeah.
gonna come up to me and be like,
They're quite judgmental as well.
yeah,
So
and
I
it's
understand.
coffee.
Yeah.
And lately I feel like there's this trend around coffee where everyone's like, oh, but I prefer this, I prefer that, and that's great for them. I love that for them, but it's just not the case for me. So please leave me and my instant coffee in peace.
Do not hound this person, people.
Yeah,
Like
man,
she
like
just
I'm
wants
just
her
trying to have
instant coffee.
I have one cup of coffee every day, in the morning, and like let me just have it in peace when it's like the first hour of my work day, and I just want to get things going.
Yeah, your
Like,
French
don't,
bistro person downstairs, like knocking on your door, like, why aren't you ordering my coffee?
but I don't like it. It's bitter. It's so bitter. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, so
I think that is controversial. I think there are people who are very, very particular about their coffee. I think
yeah.
tea is still okay, but coffee is something that people are very particular. Like, I want my
Um,
Arabica coffee and I want my filter coffees, or anything instant is like terrible shit. Like, who even
yeah,
comes
I
up with that?
mean,
So, yeah.
just leave people in peace, like you have your right to enjoy
Feels like
your
someone's really
French
just
press,
you.
or no one has, actually, no one has, not yet anyway, but it's just something that I feel very conscious about, but it's
Okay.
just one of these things. And on that note, I will say, because a lot of people here order what's called a dirty chai latte. Horrendous. Throw it out right now. What do you mean? They have, like, there's someone standing right in front of me and they're like, ah, did you do a dirty chai latte? And I'm like,
That's a
either you
very
want
good French
chai.
accent. Yeah.
That's true. It's either you do chai,
Yeah.
which is already quite bastardized, but okay, we'll have it. It's a syrup that comes
So
out
what's
from a
dirty
bottle.
about it?
No, because they add an espresso, a shot of espresso to it.
Oh,
That's the dirty chai
okay.
latte.
Wow. Wow.
So, no, out with it. It's horrendous. It should never exist. Yes, you can call me a gatekeeper or whatever. It's fine. Just like KFC tacos should never be a thing. Similarly,
KFC
it is a thing, by
tacos.
the way. Yes,
Oh wait,
it's a thing
but
here
you
in KFC.
the French tacos are the shawarma type tacos, right?
No, no, no. So KFC actually did like a promotion here where they were making like actual tacos, like
Oh, actual
a la
tacos. Okay,
mexicana. Yes,
because
actual tacos. And I sent it to all my Mexican friends, and they were like, I should have died before seeing this. Why am I seeing this? So,
we
it's
got KFC tacos before GTA 6 people. So, no,
at
but
least in
yeah,
France, yes. So,
yeah, at least in France.
just like that should not be a thing. Dirty chai latte should not be a thing. Please leave chai alone. It's
Okay.
okay. So those are my controversial opinions.
Okay. All right. So that's no, those are controversial. I think that's fair enough. I'm glad you didn't
Hmm.
go the usual route. Uh, like I know people get stuck and either are not sure of what are controversial opinions, but
Mm,
this is fairly. I think you've hit the right niche of people who would feel aggravated by it.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I don't know.
I'm intrigued to hear what people's views are on this. Now, the last thing we need to discuss is
Hmm.
your guilty pleasure food.
Hmm.
What is it like? It's I don't know. So guilty pleasure is a bit of a weird thing because I mean it's something that's bad, but or
Mm,
people consider to be unhealthy or bad, but you don't care.
yeah.
That's yours.
Ooh, it's really hard because I used to think of, say, indulging in food as in general as guilty pleasure because, when you're growing up
Okay.
as a woman, you're sort of affected by a lot of societal standards and you're like, I should be eating this, I shouldn't be drinking this or
Yeah.
whatever. But then I really, put in that sort of hard work to say that, hey, if it's giving me what I need, which is, say, pleasure or comfort, I should indulge in it and it's not guilty. So I kind of try to reprogram it that way. But a good Five Guys burger is like,
Oh
sometimes
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
need it. It's disgusting. Oh my god, I become a monster when I'm eating it. But like the oil dripping down my hands, and I always
No,
take it away.
I
Because
went this time when I went to the UK. I went to Cardiff, and so
Mhm.
I'd landed like I had barely any sleep throughout the entire flight, right, from
Right.
Mumbai to Dubai, Dubai to London, right,
Mm,
and then London to Cardiff. It's a bus ride, so it's like I already on the bus ride. I'm the kind of guy who plans my restaurant visits in advance.
yeah,
So I'm like, I need to go to these places because this is what I want to eat. And because I was only there for a day and a half in Cardiff, so I was like, okay, I want to touch these places. And
of
on my
course.
way there, I saw this really nice bar, which is called, I think, Botanical or something. And it had some really nice food. I went there and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't even have a space. I was like, for one person, you don't have space. Like, no,
That's
sir,
insane.
you have to come back after an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna be dead in an hour. Like, I'm gonna sleep. Like this, I just
Yeah.
want food. And I was like walking back, wondering what to do, and there it was, Five
Yes.
Guys. I was like,
It's
yes,
your savior.
order a Five Guys burger, get to the hotel room, and just eat and chill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is.
I resemble nothing like myself when I'm eating a Five Guys burger. I'm not the same person that you see, like, but it's insane. It has this power to sort of change things within you.
Yeah,
And but you feel so like once you're done, it's almost like you're delirious when you're eating the burger, and then you're done
yeah.
and you're like, oh no, what have I done? Like, you've got all these juices dripping down,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
table's a mess, your
It's the
house is
shame of
smelling
it's the shame of having like gorged on a Five Guys
with the
burger. But
fries,
their
with the
fries
fries.
are very good. Their fries
With
are
the
very good.
fries, yes,
Their
with the
fries
fries.
are worth
Oh.
it. So
And it
definitely.
used to be when I was doing I did an internship in Paris, I think for 6 months from July 23 to January 24, so just before I got married. And where I was living at that time, as soon as you exit the station, there's a Five Guys. And because that area was generally a bit windy, you'd have the
Oh
draft of wind blowing in
yeah.
your direction and the Five Guys smell with it.
Oh,
And the
it
whole
is.
night
It is.
you come back from work, it's like say 6:30, and you're just like, oh my god, you're peckish. It's kind of dinner time, but not really. And then you smell the Five Guys. And, oh my
It is.
god,
It is a. I think they do it like genuinely one of the best ever aromas. I remember when I was a kid and we'd gone to Germany and London, I would detect McDonald's and KFCs that were like 500 meters away, 600 meters away, and nobody would. It wasn't even in the vicinity, but I would detect it saying like, "I think there's a McDonald's," just because I could smell the fries, I could smell the. I was like, "There is," and it was
it calls
99%
to
always
me.
there. It calls to
It
me. Yeah,
calls
yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, and it was always there. So I was like, yeah, that is one of the best scents aromas
Yeah,
ever.
it's
I
insane. It
pity the
takes
vegetarians because they will never understand this feeling.
That's so true. I mean, it takes a Herculean effort to walk past it and not
Not. Yeah,
enter
yeah.
and not indulge, but then you
I
really
think
have
the
to
only
try.
place I can do that is in India where I mean the fast food sucks. So I'm like, I can
Yeah.
easily do that. But
Yeah.
abroad, here in Dubai, I was like, no, I need it. I really, really need it.
Okay. But you should get my husband on the podcast next. I'm sure he'll
I
be
should.
very, very happy to share this aspect because in Paris, whenever we roam around, he doesn't stick to the maps or the directions because his nose just calls him somewhere else. And you guys have
Yeah.
that in common. So,
Yeah, we do. I would see. I wouldn't. I think that way I'm a lot more focused on where I want to go.
oh,
Uh,
definitely.
no, like in the sense, I will not deviate because I know this place is going to have good food, and I
Mm,
need to have that. So, like I said, I'm on the higher end of that spectrum, so I
yeah.
need. So I've done like trips where I plan my uh before I plan any of my other sort of touristy things to do. I will plan what I
Mm,
want to eat
okay.
and where I want
Okay.
to eat it, and I will get the better places to go. I'm like, I will spend money. I don't mind. I will spend
Yeah,
it in order to have the meal that I really want to have. Because I know
that's
I'm not
true.
going to keep traveling often. I think if you're in Europe, if I was in Europe and I had the luxury of traveling to countries easier,
Mm,
I think then it's fine. I would just try and want to roam around and try different places.
yeah, you'd be a
But
bit
I
more
think,
relaxed on the,
yeah, but the fact that I'm going to be here for a week, I want to try and hit whatever I want
of
to hit.
course.
Like,
Yeah,
otherwise, to come back is going to be a headache.
I understand.
But
Yeah.
because here in Dubai, it's the roaming thing, right? We would
Mm,
decide on the last minute because, like, last minute, what are you feeling? I want to go there. We just go here. We can try here. We can try here. But places like abroad, if I'm traveling, I want to hit and I will only hit local cuisine. I will never hit random other things. Like,
mm.
I may have one random, other cuisine that I wanted if it's a good restaurant, but it's going to be hit the local places first and then.
So does that mean if you're coming to Paris, you're only going to stick to French food, or are you going to explore, like, say, the Asian restaurants here because we do
No,
have like a very
I
vibrant
would.
immigrant culture here? So, you know.
So what I would do is I'd hit the first couple of days I'd do French food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a trip to Grenoble when I was in the UK. I did a trip to Grenoble and Lyon, right?
Mm. Oh,
So
nice.
my cousin was he was in Grenoble. He was working
Mm.
there, so we took a trip to I took a trip to Grenoble for my birthday, and then we said we'll do the weekend in Lyon. And so at Grenoble, we had like the dauphinoise, we had the
Of
ravioli
course.
pizzas, we had the what else? We had a whole bunch of things. Then we went to Lyon, and then uh, I had escargots and a
Mm.
few things. But otherwise, it was like steaks, and otherwise, there's not much. So I think I would do maybe the first couple of days. I want to try particular restaurants that I want to try,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, I'm open. I'm game. I would not have Indian food. That's the only one thing I will not have.
Ah, yeah, that, yes. Well, there used to be a Sarvana Bhavan here, which has now been
No,
replaced by, well, something else. But there's a lot of,
I'll cook that,
I
but I
mean,
don't want to try it out. Maybe if I'm going with family, I would because they intend to want to have their
yes,
Indian food at some point in time, right? But
that's true. That's true.
in general, no. I think I'd stick to a lot of local and then try different varieties.
Good. Well noted for the next time you come to Paris.
Yeah, I would.
You should make a
And
trip.
oh my god, I should. And it was awesome because I tried to when I was there, I tried to book a Michelin star restaurant. Uh,
Okay.
so I called up and they were like, "Bonjour." I was like, "Hello." They cut the
Ah,
call.
no,
They cut the call. I was like, "What the fuck?" I just
no.
wanted to, yeah. And I was like,
But
"Oh,
you've learned French, no?
yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I know. I've learned a bit, but at that point, I didn't think they would cut off after saying
right.
bonjour or if I said hello. I was like,
Mm.
okay, fine, let's not. Then I didn't get a
How
chance.
long
I was like,
ago was this?
this was in 2018.
Okay. Mm. Maybe it's changed now. I mean, I can only hope
Yeah,
because
no, I mean, it depends also on which restaurant or which
yeah.
one I picked up. But
Mm.
I definitely do my homework. At that point, again, it was a random call. It was like, oh, let's try it when we were there. I should have made the
Mm.
booking in advance, which I did in the
Okay.
UK. I made a booking way in
Mm.
advance for my birthday, for a couple of days before my birthday in a Michelin stand in London.
Mm.
And then I got that, and
Right.
that was awesome fun because I had a couple of friends as well. We got the kitchen. Was that the kitchen table or the dining table? Not the dining. What's it called? The chef's table. That's what it is.
The chef's table. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
right
super
outside
cool.
yeah.
That's
So
nice.
that's something that's one of the places where I was talking to you about, where they had a mix of, it was 3 Michelin, but it was comfortable as anything. I think they made you feel so at home.
Welcome and at home.
It was
That's
so
nice.
good. I think the service is one thing I would say was so much more notable than the food itself. And that's
That's
something that was
amazing.
like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next
Uh,
time you're in Paris, I'm happy to help you with your reservations.
Definitely. I will do that. But I guess that's all the time we have for this podcast. Thank you, Shreyashi, for taking
Thank
time
you.
out to discuss your dream restaurant. It was really really good, and I'm glad the microphone doesn't pick up on how much my stomach was grumbling. And I hate the
No.
fact I do this before lunch. I always do this before a meal. And anytime, and luckily your food was enticing enough for my stomach to. And there were points where I had to like take in a burp inside, and I was like, oh, do not.
No.
Yeah. It was like my stomach's been rumbling. And so, but
Okay.
it was awesome fun.
I'm glad. And maybe one day, if this ever becomes a reality, I'd be more than happy to welcome you to the first ever opening night of Katha. But
Perfect.
thanks for having me over and for this really interesting prompt and project. It was really great fun.
All right. So thank you to everyone who's watching us and listening to us. Do hit the like button, share, subscribe, do whatever it is that you do for your other podcasts. And we'll catch you all on our next episode. Until then, see you.
Bye bye.